You're such an asshole.
Hey everybody, the old Captain of AssholeConsulting.com banging out shit. I had to plug in the camcorder, and yeah, I know a lot of you are complaining. Well, man, it's a low definition camcorder. I know. You're all millennials and Gen Z. You're all used to having the finest that borrowed money that your parents borrowed from the bank and the credit cards can afford. And you're used to having nothing but the finest. But this camera is paid for, but the battery's going dead. And maybe, actually, you know what I should do? I should do an Amazon wish list. Like all the pretty girls. Buy me shit because I'm pretty. And you fucking men do. Should have just been born with a set of tits. And I've had a fucking $1 billion by now with this brain. Your tits, my brain, we can go places at AssholeConsulting.com. A young man writes, hello, Cap. They say time heals all wounds, but it's been 1.5 years since my divorce, and I have not fully moved on from the horse. Stop right there. It's 1.5 years, dude. That is not, there's nothing wrong with that. Divorce is kind of, love, second most powerful force in the world behind horniness. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Oh my God, I'm not running, 10 miles a day. It's fine. Quick summary of what happened. Got into a pickup in college after a breakup and was immediately hooked. After 2 years of fun, got lured by this exotic Turkish gal who claimed she was legally staying in the U.S. Uh-oh. We just did a video on foreign women and what a risk they are. Like a sailor to the calls of a siren, I was drawn to her charm. You should write, dude. And how traditional she was from typical American gal, yet a freak in the sheets. Coming from a traditional Hispanic family, I really dug that. So I decided to quit game and have a monogamous relationship with her. Fast forward a couple months later, and she tells me her visa is expiring, but swears she wasn't counting me, and she loves me. Oh, marriage and love. She suggests we get married so that she can stay and I can agree. Are you boys paying? It's too late for him. But let us learn, right? Class, does anyone know what our young Hispanic friend did wrong? Yes, you, Jimmy, in the back. Mr. Clary, did he get married after only dating her for a couple of months? Yes, little Jimmy, that is correct. So what do? We don't get married in a couple months? Very good, little Jimmy. I make a great fucking teacher. Actually, I did teach little 6-year-old kids when I substitute taught. They're great. They believe anything you tell them. I thought I had found a unicorn and believed it was an opportunity to start a family and settle, so I took the gamble. A few months after the marriage, it's in increments of months. I love how, don't you notice how problem like months? It's the unit of measurement, months. It's really bad if it's weeks. A few months after the marriage, red flags pop and pop. She tells me she's been taking medication for anxiety and depression and decides to stop medicating. She starts drinking a lot. Quits her job, but see, these foreigners know just what bullshit you Americans believe about. I have bipolar. I have the autisms. I have anxiety. I have depressions. It's not me. It just excuses my incredibly shitty behavior. You not see it? Quits her job but still goes out and spends my money. Starts random temper tantrums that turn violent. See, this is like, they get the guy, but then they kill the goose that lays the golden egg. Suffice to say, I decided to call it quits and decided to separate from her. Panic! She tells me, because you're cutting off the goose that laid the golden egg. She tells me to come back to the apartment to reconcile, and that's where she goes domestic on me, throwing bottles, anything she can find. I freak out and head for the door, and that's when she calls the cops. Brilliant. Boys, pay attention to this. Pay the fuck attention to this. Fast forward to divorce court. Turns out this is a common thing foreign women do to keep their green card via VAWA. A beautiful legal thing where women can accuse men of domestic violence with no proof. Turns out, what's VAWA's been only 3-4 years and they're already onto this gig? Do you see how quick? They're not just like, oh, I'm just this innocent girl with mental problems. They know, they are cunning, they are knowledgeable, they are precise, and they are purposed. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. So stop being fucking naive. I'm not yelling at the poor client. The poor client went through hell. But what we boys, and please let the client's experience save you. We're trying to prevent you from experiencing this horrible experience that a lot of women do. Turns out she had been recording our arguments and used her own crazy rage to set me up. Exactly. She knew exactly what she was doing. To this day, I get random flashbacks to those moments like some sort of PTSD. It was the most traumatic life experience ever, and while the mental wounds are not as painful as they were a year and a half ago, thanks to family and friends, they are still there. I've been on the occasional date, but I find it near impossible to trust women again. I almost want to go MGTOW, but I feel I'm too young to just give up. Or let's stop here again. There's nothing wrong with that. I would be, a shark bit off my leg. What, are you going to go cozy up to a shark after a year and a half? You have every right. Again, your brain is functioning normally. It is functioning. I mean, I don't date other girls anyway, but after a while, there was a good, I think it was the third California girl I dated. I'm like, that's it. No California girls. No. Once is a statistical oddity, twice is a coincidence, three is a trend. I don't touch California. I don't do business with California women. Bye. So there's nothing wrong with that. I would think maybe after 5, and you're always going to be reluctant. You absolutely should be. You went through a traumatizing experience. You're one of the few people that is an ex-military, ex-combat veteran that I think actually has gone through a legitimate case of post-traumatic stress. I'm no fucking therapist, but instead of, oh my God, I didn't get an A+, I mean, you had gone through some serious shit. So this is, again, normal to not trust women. And to be fully honest, I don't know if you'll be able to ever trust women fully like you did before again. Because I don't know how you fully... Everybody thinks, oh, it's taking a pill, or, oh, I just talked to a therapist. No. Your brain keeps score. It remembers for damn good reasons, for like survival. Hey, saber-toothed tigers are not to be petted. Did you know that, Mog? The two, in the olden days, the case Mog and Thag, don't pet the saber-toothed tigers. Why? I lost my arm. That's been ingrained in us a little bit, to learn from bad experiences so we never have to suffer that again. Anyway, so go on. You almost want to go MGTOW, but I'm just too young to give up. I'm a 27-year-old supervisor for a place, and I've been keeping myself in shape by hitting the gym 5 times a week as well as eating healthy. All right, you're in great shape. So what I find frustrating is that every aspect of my life is going very smoothly. Finances, family, and friends are all good. It's the moving on part that messes with me. I wish I could go back to the carefree asshole I was back in my pickup days when I discovered game. It was that charisma and confidence that got me laid. But now women can smell the desperation and hunger. What or how do I find the motivation and confidence again after going through hell? Thanks for letting me get your quote. Now here's where I got confused. I'm like, okay, you went through this traumatic experience, but women can sense and smell you're desperate and hungry? I thought you were deathly afraid of women, or at least untrusted, and now you decide, I kind of say, hey, clarify that for me a bit. He says, to clarify, I'm trying to get back with women and trying to overcome the fear. I'm desperate and hungry for women. It's like not wanting to touch the stove because I may get burned. Let me read that. To clarify, I'm trying to get back with women and trying to overcome the fear. I am desperate and hungry for women. It's like not wanting to touch the stove because I may get burned. Reading about MGTOW was more of a coping mechanism back when the divorce was still fresh. I understand its ideas, but I do not believe in avoiding women entirely, at least not while I have my youth. Okay, so here's what's happening. Your heads are having a little battle. This head, the superior one, is saying, whoa, dude, do you remember the time the saber-toothed tiger bit off our hand? And the little head is saying, but I want to pet the saber-toothed tiger. You want to pet the pussy. That's basically what it is. The long-legged, very bitey, chompy pussy. And you have to rule with this one, because I know the little one, you think you're going to get laid more with the little one. The little one thinks that too. This is what's going to get you laid more. And so what you have to do is you have to stop thinking with this, and that's what, I mean, you went through game, you learned it all, you got the physical thing going on, you know it's all up here. It's a mental thing. Now, I would focus more on this than getting laid for 2 reasons. One, it's going to help you mentally. You're still not over this. You're still traumatized a little bit, I understand it. And I would go talk to therapists like you did, talk to family, friends. Keep going there, keep talking and getting therapy, all right? I'm not a big fan of psychologists, obviously, but you do need an independent third party to talk to you about this who is trained in that field. So you need to do that. And until the point in time that you have overcome this distrust of women, to the point, you'll never fully overcome it, but to the point that it's functional and you can start screening. The second reason I'm going to tell you to focus on this is because You can't be desperate. You just can't be desperate and thirsty. I'm not saying you're lying to me. I know you're desperate and thirsty, but you cannot be. You know this, dude. You know this. It's getting the knowing over the feeling, over the lusting. You gotta have this override that, so you no longer are thirsty or desperate. Now, how do you get rid of it? Women can smell it. You can focus and train all you want. Women will smell it on you. So what I'm recommending is you don't even worry about. I mean, take a sabbatical, take a break. Right? You need to get your jollies off. Go rub one out. Go get a whore. Go get a prostitute. All right? It'll be a lot easier. And then focus on everything that you're doing now. Your family, your friends, your career, your finances. Focus on that. All right? And in due time, as the wounds continue to heal, this desperation, in theory, will go away. But you really just can't be. Look, I know what are you, 25? How old are you? Okay, you're 27. All right, yeah, so you still want to go in. I understand. But you're not in a condition. You're failing right now too, right? You're failing, right? It's because this traumatic experience probably is throwing off your game. It's been quite some time, I'm sure too, that you would like to go and get laid. So you're like a 14 or 15-year-old now. You're called clumsy. You've lost. Go back to the intellectual, philosophical basics of game. Understand it and incorporate it. And that's going to take meditation, repeating, commitment to commit it to your head, incorporate it, have it become part of your philosophy, have it become part of this, so that you are no longer desperate. You are no longer thirsty. All right? And, test the waters every once in a while. Hey, you're out hiking or doing whatever, and there's a cute girl, and you happen to hit up. Fine. I'm not saying, you're not dead. I mean, if an opportunity comes along. But don't be going to the clubs. If you're on a date and you start to feel nervous, you know what? Cancel. Honestly, can't. There's nothing wrong with canceling a date. There's nothing wrong with saying, I feel sick. I gotta go. Because then women are just more intrigued. Like, well, what? I'm used to guys. Like, if you do not feel comfortable on a date, end it. Just end it. I know it sounds odd for a guy, but I mean, I remember first dates, like, you gotta constantly, you're on fucking stage, you're on performance. You gotta play the fucking game. You gotta tickle their fancies and entertain. It becomes a royal pain in the ass. You know what? After this traumatic experience and recovery and all that, maybe you just don't have the energy anymore. Maybe you can't perform your best in terms of entertaining women and game. It takes energy, and you have to be on top of it. So I would just focus on you, man, and dedicate things to you time. You get horny, you want to bang a chick, there's none around, you don't have any options, or there's one, but you're not too sure. Go on the date. If you're starting to falter or fail, I'm sorry, I'm very sick. Go home, rub one out. You don't need the stress. You just don't need the stress. All right? Maybe 2 weeks go by, you're on another date with another girl. All right? Things are a little bit better. Maybe you rubbed one out before, like something about Mary, and you're more relaxed. Don't even think about getting laid. That's probably the best thing. Is just go have fun. I mean, keep your eyes open for opportunities, but also keep your eyes open for threats and red flags, as you well know. But right now, I mean, you're still not there. You're like a battleship that just took like 5 torpedoes, and you're limping along. Like, you got back to bay, you got back to the shipping docks, and they're patching you up, and like, oh, the engines are fixed. It's like, yeah, but you still have a gaping hole. Your electrical system is fucked. You're not ready to go back out. All right? Maybe a little practice run here and there. If someone comes along, makes it easy, sure. But right now, dude, getting laid is not your primary concern. All right? That's down the road. Wait till you're fully repaired or adequately repaired. Do a couple trial runs. But I would not be putting pussy on the pedestal. Do not. You know that. That's number one. Do not put it on the pedestal. You got more important shit to do in your life than that shit. And as you approach the age of 30, it'll get easier. But as you approach the age of 30, that's kind of where it's like, okay, enough with the fucking girls. Enough of this fucking bullshit. I'm not pursuing women for the sake of pursuing women. I'm going to go do cool, amazing shit and accomplish some crap. And if girls want to come along and happen to be a long way, fine. But I am sick and tired of pissing away my life. You already pissed away a horrendous price and time and percentage of your youth on your wife. Don't piss it away on any of these girls anymore. Focus on you. Go practice your game. Be aloof. Keep them at arm's distance. If you really want to nail it, go to Vegas. Go to Amsterdam. It's going to be cheaper. But until you get your electrical wiring and your armor back on and the torpedo tubes and your armament and everything's back and polished and you put that final coat of paint on the battleship, just stay in the loading dock or the shipping yard for a little bit before you go back out. All right. Anyway, hope that helped out. Take it easy. No rush. Girls created a lot of trauma for you and problems than before. Very few are a net positive experience. I'm being deadly serious. Most of them are taxing. When you go out with a girl, they're usually the ones sucking up the energy because you have to perform and entertain. You're not there yet. Just relax and take it easy. So anyway, hope that helped out. Best of luck to you guys. If you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. The old captain will take care of you. Toodles.